Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out something called Super Wolfenstein HD by developer Free Lives, a developer you probably best know from their work on Broforce, a game that I both know and love and think is hilarious and silly and awesome, and I think this game actually follows very much in the same train of thought as that. So this is sort of a refinement, remix, readaptation of the Wolfenstein game, you know, by id Software, with some added physics and silliness and just some sort of aimless fun being poked at the whole thing. And it's actually originally from the Indies vs. Pewdiepie jam, but this is actually a post-compo version, has a little bit more done on it. I should mention a couple of trigger warnings before we start. Loading screens have some flashing lights on them, so if that bothers anybody, be aware. Also, we'll be shooting some German Shepherds in this game. I'm not happy about it, but you know, it's Wolfenstein. That's what it is. We're gonna be making fun of a Nazi camp in a way, so like, yeah, it's certainly gonna be a little controversial. I don't think there's any doubt here, but we've managed to come up with something that's a bit of a paradox in that it's, you know, obviously something that's rooted in some really scary, creepy, awful stuff, and we've kind of made light of it and managed to come out the other side in sort of a joyous celebration of violence, if that's a thing that we can have. Anyway, let's click to start, and we'll get underway. Get psyched. Alright, so we spawn in a jail cell just like we did in the original Wolfenstein game. You'll notice we have a weapon that is a little bit different than I remember, in that our knife actually throws now, and all of the walls actually can be broken apart, which is kind of an important element as well. So we can basically dig through all the areas in this game, sort of like Minecraft if we want. In fact, they even reward us with an object that allows that to happen a little bit more easily. So we've discovered our first enemy, and he's doing a number on the walls here, as you can see, which adds quite a bit of an interesting dynamic element to this. He's coming around the corner. Wait for it. I only have 4 knives, so I gotta make this count. Oh no, I missed. Oh, I knocked his helmet off. There we go. Oh, he's on the ground, but he's still wiggling around. I think he might still be coming after me. Yeah, no, he's back up, he's back up! I can't take chances like that again, so I gotta conserve my knives or I'm gonna run out, and that's gonna be a bit of a problem, because once I run out of ammo, I'm not actually sure how I would get more unless I can just find more in one of these rooms by avoiding enemies. So you'll see the very interesting way that the enemies flail about and cause sort of this wanton destruction in very unpredictable ways. And I think it's actually... Oh, wow. That was rather violent. It's very interesting to see how different an experience like this can end up being when we add the elements like this of, you know, having the physics, having the bit of destructibility, having the ability to look around in all directions, kind of a big one as well. And just in general, having somewhat more refined presentation, but in general, you know, the basic fundamental elements of this game are still sort of the way they were left. I love that detail there on the top of the helmet, of course. Sort of, again, poking fun at the whole thing, which I think makes it a lot more interesting, too. Because if this was like a one-note, we took the formula behind Wolfenstein and then made it, you know, just look a little better, well, maybe there's a market for that, but I think this is actually a lot more fun and playable than the original game was. Also, the fact that they took some of the base gameplay and now allowed us to dig through the walls has actually allowed us to have a little bit of an exploration element in a place where normally we wouldn't have had any of that. So we've actually discovered some bullets in the walls. Picking up bullets allows us to switch over to our pistol, which apparently we had the whole time, we just didn't have it equipped. I was kind of wondering the first time, actually, when I saw an enemy and killed him, why I couldn't take his pistol. I guess we're just kind of going off a different method of how things work there. This is, by the way, a rough prototype, is what it says when you start up the game, so I'm not sure to what degree things are the way they would want them fleshed out if they went ahead with this as more of a finished release, which I don't know that even is going to be a thing. Oh god, the physics there are weird. As with any game with ragdoll sort of physics, strange things do happen from time to time, and that same dog is actually freaked out every time I've come through here. I think it's just bad luck, though. It sort of does a weird thing, sort of like Dark Souls, where when they're on the ground, if you push them around a little bit, they can kind of look like they've come back to life. Oh, I pushed into the wall, glitched out, and vanished, apparently. Also, yeah, you can't shoot the lights, unfortunately. It's a little detail that I don't think is super necessary, but would have been cool if it was there. It doesn't take much to take these guys down. It's like 2 shots to the chest-ish. Sometimes 1 shot to the head will do it if you get them just right, I guess, but I'm not entirely sure why sometimes it goes, sometimes it doesn't. Here's that thing I mentioned. We now have a shovel, And they've made it very clear that we now have the ability to dig as we see fit. I will, of course, take advantage of that. It looks like our UI is filling up with bullets. I think after a point it would probably be useful, if this was to be a further refined and developed game, it would probably be useful to have this sort of curtail off at a point and be like, hey, like, we get you have more than this amount of bullets, so it's like this times 2, or like it just, you know, is represented by a meta bullet of some kind that says you have this many rows. Oh god, shovel is not sufficient for fighting dogs. Alright. I dug my way through and found my way to the other side. I'm just gonna try and stay inside of the walls if possible. It sort of is kind of an interesting way to approach the idea of what used to be, you know, the secrets in Wolfenstein. You would click on certain paintings, the walls would slide out of the way, you'd find your way through, and this is sort of something even more emergent and interesting, because you actually have control over where you're going. The secrets are not quite as linear as they were in that permutation of the experience. And I should mention, of course, I have played other sort of divergent Wolfenstein-style games. Oh god, the dog made it through the wall. I played that Super Voxelstein, or is just Voxelstein game, that allowed us to sort of do a similar thing where we could dig through everywhere. And I found it to be similarly as interesting in that respect as well. So apparently, exploration and Wolfenstein go hand in hand. I never would have known until developers chose to take these strange risks. Can still use the knives, by the way. They still work just fine. You know, it's also great, and I should probably try and show this off before we get to the end here. Oh god, went through his chin. That's brutal. Oh, you know what? I can show it off right now, because this guy's still alive. Yeah, you knock their gun out of their hands, and they become completely defenseless. You can just push them around like mindless automatons, if you so choose. And when you get a group of them together, all with no weapons... Oh god, I think I've clipped him through the wall like that other one. Alright, on we go then. Yeah, when you get them all together, I think you can cause some very strange and interesting physics reactions to happen. And I would love to see more to this game. Like, I'm thinking, what if you got access to better weapons? I'd love to see a chain gun that could just freaking, you know, toss the ragdolls all over the screen. You know, just play up the absolute insanity that's going on here. There's something very absurd about, you know, not only the approach... Oh, you can purge things with the shovel. I didn't realize that. Not only the approach is silly, like the physics enabled everything, but the way that the characters are depicted is silly, the way that you get around through the game is silly, like pretty much everything about it. In fact, I'm sort of purposely talking over everything, but they say some kind of silly things too when you shoot at them. I think I've heard one of them say Oktoberfest before, so it's just kind of like blatantly racist, but also to be funny. I don't know if racism can be funny, but in this case, we're making fun of Nazis, so I guess it's really not bad. Wow, that was a very short level. Okay, this super soldier here apparently can take a licking and keep on ticking for just about ever. Seriously, dude? Are you done? It is nice to see that there's some other permutations of enemies in this. Oh god, I can totally bludgeon this guy to death with the shovel. Really does work. Oh, what happened to him? I guess I keep causing them to glitch through the walls. Probably the issue is that, like, all of these walls are variable and can be destroyed, so things probably have a little difficulty with clipping. I also appreciate that the developer saw fit to delete the debris after a short amount of time. In this case, I think it would have very quickly built up to the extent that you probably would have had a lot of lag and slowdown. Also, dynamic shadows are lovely, too. I can't break the doors down either. Also, can you see just... Let's see what happens if we break all the wall next to one of these doors. To see if this will just sort of slide through in space. Because we should be able to just walk where the door was when it opens. Yeah, totally just has this, like, empty gap here for us to go through. Interesting. Some interesting mechanics to this whole thing. I guess that's the mechanism right there on the floor and ceiling. Oh. Are you dead? Yeah. It's a dead dog. Kick it through the wall? Whatever. Let's keep going. I think there's only a handful more levels, or like one more level still left to see. Oh god! Oh god, he took the shovel! He went after me with the shovel! Who taught these dogs these mechanics? This is not how we approach fighting. Can you imagine how terrifying that would be, a dog running after you with a shovel? What is going on with this thing? Okay. That was terrifying. I thought I killed it already, but it was still alive. It's a very important element, I guess, when you're gonna do ragdoll physics like that. Make sure it's obvious when things are dead. I mean, it does make it hilarious when they're all just kind of bouncing around and everything, but if you want to make this serious, which, you know, in this case I don't think we do. But if you did want to do that, I think that would be an important aspect to the whole thing, is being able to tell when things are alive or dead. Oh, turn that guy into a ball of meat. Mein Leben. That just means my life. My life! Oh, there he is! The final boss. Alright, let's see if we can survive. I'm gonna need all the ammo I can get here, though, because there's a lot of dudes to fight. I think I'll use some knives or shovel for a moment here, if I could. There's like a lot more dogs that'll show up after a minute here. Oh, there they are. They're both stuck on the side of these walls. Strange sound effects for sure for dogs, but I like it. Alright, we've got ammo. We've got a location, a bunker of sorts. But we've only got 3 hits left because every hit seems to take off 10% of our health. Go nuts! I should be able to disable him and just keep shooting him in the neck. I think that'll work. Is he dead? That was actually way easier than I expected. First time I went through this, well, I won't say I got stuck, because I didn't get stuck, but it was definitely a little bit more harrowing than this time. Alright. He's gone. Fair enough. We have eliminated the Nazi scum and come out unscathed, for the most part. Nazi scourge, rather, has been defeated, thanks to me. Isn't that wonderful? So that was Super Wolfenstein HD. Really fun, really silly, really just hilarious in general. It's really all you could ask for, right? Just a good time. Obviously not for everybody, but for those of you who found joy in this, feel free to go download this yourself. It is very silly, and I think you'll have a good time messing with the physics and trying to break through and find whatever secrets you might be able to find behind the walls. A little sad there's not more to it, but at the same time, I understand why there isn't. I mean, this was developed, I think, in around 72 hours, which is also very impressive considering there's a lot of stuff going on here, and it is incredibly fun and playable right now, just as it is, as a Game Jam game. So anyway, if you like this video, make sure you leave a like on it. Make sure you leave a comment, too, because I'm curious to hear what your reaction is to all of this silliness. And, of course, the download link is in the description. New videos go up every single day, so if you're into the idea of finding out about a new artistic, original, or unique indie game every single day, feel free to click subscribe and stick around for more. So thanks, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you'll have a fantastic night. Talk to you all tomorrow.